What is up, guys? It is Strider coming at you again with some more Pokemon content. Today we are just going to continue on our quest to climb. I am doing pre-recorded videos today. These are just games. These are just games I've played, like today and yesterday mainly. Not live. I'm sorry. I know the only real disadvantage here is we don't get to do the team preview. We only are going to see their 3 versus my 3 at the beginning. So I'm sorry about that, but I'll try to make them more live in the future. It's just time constraints and stuff make it a lot easier to do it this way for me. We did make one change to our team. This is my full team, by the way, if anyone is interested in the sets and stuff. You can see all of it here if you wanted to try any of it out. I don't know why you would. I was like 2 and 3 going into this video before these games. But anyways, so I did change my Talonflame to a much more offensive set. I don't know if you remember, but we had talked about a specially defensive Talonflame. I changed it to I changed it to a choice band set. It's a lot harder. Full attack investment, full speed investment. Now this actually does come up in one game. The full speed investment is usually not something people do. Usually, because of his priority, because of his high speed already, people do not do the full speed investment. They put a good chunk of speed, but a lot of times you'll see some HP in there as well. But not me. I went full offense. Hit as hard as I can, as fast as I can. I have Flare Blitz, U-Turn, Brave Bird, which are the 3 pretty much I would say you'll always see on a choice banded Talonflame. But the 4th is kind of a flex spot. Sometimes you see Will-O-Wisp, sometimes you see I've seen Steel Wing. I went for the Tailwind. I don't really know why, I've just never used it, and was like, you know what, let's go ahead and try the Tailwind out. Tailwind, if you don't know, just raises your entire team's. Basically, you go faster for the next whatever how long it is. 5 turns. Let's actually look at that. For 4 turns, allies' speed is doubled, so you're just probably gonna outspeed everyone for the next 4 turns. So yeah, this is the team. Let's jump into the games here. So we've got 5 games to watch today. This first matchup, you can see our teams. Again, I forget what exactly was on team preview. You gotta know going into this game. I don't know exactly who he took. Okay, let's go ahead and get that started. So I believe I started with Rotom this game. Just knowing there wasn't a lot on his team that was going to just blow right through it, and I can just throw off a Will-O-Wisp or something if he starts with something like Guard. He does start with his Rotom as well. I just start with Will-O-Wisp. I almost always start with Will-O-Wisp whenever I just Rotom, because like this Rotom can't do anything to me probably, and he's probably just going to Volt Switch out. I thought he might Volt Switch into, and that did a lot more damage than I thought, by the way, that Hydro Pump. So I think he's more heavily invested in offense than I am. I go ahead and go for the Volt Switch. It does not do a lot. I go back into, I want to say my Venusaur here. I do. He goes for another Hydro Pump, I think, which again does not do a lot to me. I resist it and have fully HP invested. Yeah, it does nothing. I think I Mega Evolve and just go for the Giga Drain. But yeah, back to that Will-O-Wisp point. I thought he might Volt Switch out if he outsped me, and then I'd go for I'd be able to get it off on something more important. He does go for the Thunder Wave right off the bat, which I thought he might have been like Specs because of the damage at first, but obviously since he's switching moves, he must not be Specs. Again, I go for the Giga Drain. I think I knock out or come very close to it. I do get the knockout. Very cool. We're up 1-0. He did cripple our Venusaur, but I'll take a Paralyze for a KO. I think he sends out Talonflame here. He does send out Talonflame. Obviously, I cannot stand against Talonflame at all. I switch out into my Rotom to take this, I'm presuming, Brave Bird. He does go for the Brave Bird. It does a lot of... God, Talonflame does so much damage, guys. It's crazy. Look, that's resisted right there. I resist that, and I'm fully defensive invested. Obviously, he thinks I'm going to go for either the Volt Switch or the Hydro Pump, and he knows he has to switch here, I'm assuming, if I remember this right. I think he does. I get that Citrus Berry to help heal back up. I think I go for the Hydro Pump, knowing he might switch, and if he does, yeah, this is what I was worried about. Yeah, he's switching to the Garchomp. He takes this, it actually does a lot more damage than I thought. It does almost half. I'm feeling pretty good about that. He does get the Toxic off. I get the Burn off and that makes me very happy. I think I go for Will-O-Wisp. I do go for Will-O-Wisp. I get the burn off. I really thought that was important, obviously, to just hurt his attack power. Unfortunately, I can't freaking burn the Rotom. I think I switch here? I'm not actually sure. Oh, I know. I switched into the Venusaur knowing that that he's just more, that Rotom is more important. I need to check to that Talonflame, and he can eat up a couple more attacks. I go into the Venusaur here. I think he goes into Stealth Rocks. That's right. Which obviously is very, very harmful to my own Talonflame. But I'm pretty sure I can do enough damage to these things to be able to... That's my goal right now, is to save my Talonflame for the end and just knock both these guys out. I thought about going for Poison, whatever, Poison Sludge Bomb here, but I do go for the Giga Drain. Can't really stay in. Again, I switch back out. If I would have gone into Sludge Bomb there, I might have been able to... I would have done a lot of damage at the very least. I take out my Venusaur and go back into my room to take this hit. In retrospect, I'm not sure if it might have been better just to sack the Venusaur there. He does go for the Brave Bird. I can't really live it, of course. But he's going to... The good thing about this is I knew I was going to be able to take 2 attacks, and he's going to do a lot of damage to himself with that recoil. Like, he'd be low enough that 1 Brave Bird from me is just going to kill him anyways. And plus he has to take another attack here, which basically gives me my switch into Talonflame that I want. Now, I am going to take a lot of damage from these Stealth Rocks when I come in. Yeah, he does go for the Brave Bird. I die. I believe I clicked... I think I clicked Hydro Pump there, in case you were wondering. Yeah, again, he takes some more recoil damage. So now, obviously, this thing is just easily going to die to my Talonflame. Of course, I do take half my life here, which is unfortunate. I go for... Now, this is a really smart play by him, thinking it might knock me out, and I thought it might, to be honest with you. I get the Brave Bird off, but this is actually a Rocky Helmet Garchomp, which means I take... I think it comes out to 7/24 of my life from Rough Skin plus Rocky Helmet. So not quite a third, but almost. Plus I take Recoil here, which almost kills me. Oof, I was worried about that. He goes back into his Talonflame. Now remember I talked about how not everyone max speed invests? I didn't think he did, because most people don't, and I knew I'd outspeed and get the W here. Knocking him out. Boom. Good work, Talonflame. So this offensive Talonflame working out a little better for us. He does get himself killed in the process, but you know what? We will take it. I get the 1-0 victory. With Venusaur paralyzed in the back, just like, what's up, guys? Alright, so that's game 1. We did go up 1-0. That puts us at... before that, we were at 2-3. So we are now sitting at 3-3. I don't have my rating. I should write down my rating every time in case I do this again. I'll have to keep that in mind. Okay, so the next game here, you can see his team, our team. Now, actually, well, I won't spoil it. Obviously, you can see I start with I went with the Heatran core, the Heatran, Latias, Scolipede core. I got a Scolipede a lot of times because he's just so fast. So here, he obviously Mega Evolves into Mega Kangaskhan. And I'm pretty sure he's going to use Fake Out, but I'm like, it's not going to do that much damage. Turns out, it does a pretty good amount. Now here I almost switched, thinking, man, I'm pretty sure if he just has Sucker Punch, I'm dead. But I don't know. I didn't. I get the superpower off, and I get the knockout. Now, this was actually incredibly lucky. I ran the calcs after the fact, and if he has Sucker Punch there, I'm dead. So, and I looked it up, and about 63% of Mega Kangaskhan's have Sucker Punch. So, pretty lucky there that I did not get Sucker Punched and died. Now, here I switch out. I'll talk about that in a little bit. Anyway, so I switch out Scolipede. I maybe should have stayed in, but the superpower, I knew I was a little weaker than normal, and I'm pretty sure Heatran was going to be able to just tank anything this king could throw, unless he had Aura Sphere, which is rare. He does go with the extra sensory. Do note, I didn't run the calcs, but I might have been able to just knock that thing out with a Earthquake, but again, I did not run the calcs beforehand. An Earthquake from my Scolipede might have killed it. He does just forfeit there, so super short game. He probably knew he just didn't have anything to touch me, I'm guessing, because his Raikou's move pool is not that wide. He probably had like he had his electric. He maybe had like two. He might have had like Thunderbolt and Volt Switch, some kind of hidden power move, and then extra sensory, something like that. Probably hidden power ice. Anyways, but about that Mega Kangaskhan. So I ran the calcs, and basically if he has Sucker Punch there, I'm dead. So I should have switched for one. And for two, I only have about a 31% chance to knock out with my superpower. That is with no defensive investment on his Mega Kangaskhan, which obviously it didn't because I was able to knock it out. So I got very fortunate that match that my Scolipede... At first I was like pumped. I was like, yeah, Scolipede one-on-one Kangaskhan, but it turns out I just got very fortunate there. Let's go to the next game. Oh, this game. So again, I go with the Latias core. I think I'm just biased towards that. I need to fix that. I need to just start picking the other core more. I think. I don't know. Or maybe I need to make it better, so I feel like it's better. So I start with the Heatran here. I looked at his team. Now I did make a mistake here. I think by taking the team I did. But anyway, so I'm obviously I cannot keep a fire type in against this water type. I go into my Latias here. He Mega Evolves, and I think he hits me with Water Pulse. Yeah, he does. He definitely shoots Water Pulse at me, which I think I'll take this just fine. Now, the worst possible thing happens here. So I take the damage, whatever, no big, but it gets the 30% chance paralyze, and I'm like, oh god, okay, whatever. I still have speed. If I get a Calm Mind up, I'll probably live anything from this guy. So I go ahead and go into to just Mega Evolve, and I go for the Calm Mind. Knowing it'll help me a lot, but I do hit myself in Confusion, which hits me for about 14. Not the end of the world, to be honest. But he does get the Ice Beam, and I take about 90 damage. Now, note, if I had Calm Mind up, I would have only taken 60, which is really nice. I would have been able to start setting up more and more. Thinking I was just dead no matter what, I go for the Dragon Pulse. He doesn't do a whole lot. He kills me with Water Pulse. That was a really smart play by him, because if I had switched into Venusaur thinking, oh, I want Heatran to save him, I would have just died. But man, I could have, if I would have just, I get the Mega Horn off, doesn't quite kill. Really bummed about that. I might have had a chance in this match actually if that would have killed. I don't know what the calcs are on that, but I did not get a kill on that. But no, it basically comes down to that. The play of this match was Latias getting confused and then hitting himself in Confusion. Because I would have been able to just set up, I think, had I got that Calm. I could have just roosted a couple times to keep his Ice Beams off of me. And then I would have snapped out of Confusion pretty quick. Also, right there, if I would have just roosted instead of Dragon Pulse, I would have just eaten up that Water Pulse. Obviously, I get the kill with the Earth Power here. He knocks out my Scolipede in one shot, which I figured he would. My Scolipede is frail. But it did a lot of damage there. I was really... man, if it would have got that kill, I think I would have had a shot. So he sends out this thing. And I know I'm dead. So, just not a fun game. I just kind of get very unfortunate there. Maybe I should have gone for the Roost, but I had no idea he was going to switch back into Water Pulse. Maybe I should have thought of that. So yeah, very unfortunate there. He does 3 owe me. No, 2 owe me. He 2 owes me. I'm kind of bummed at this point. I'm like, dang, that sucked. One thing I will say in the team preview that I should have noticed, his only Mega Pokemon was Blastoise. So I think I should have brought Mega Venusaur, actually. Because I could have owned that thing. If I would have gone with the other core, looking at this core right now, yeah, I think I would have just kicked the crap out of it. I had Earthquake and Superpower for my Scolipede could have done at least a good amount of damage. Enough to the point where someone on my team could have finished it off from that other core, at least. Like, I'm pretty sure if I would have done that much damage, enough damage to it with, like, a Superpower, I could have just... Or an I would have Earthquaked, obviously. Earthquaked, I could have done... I could have just finished it off with, even if it didn't kill, which I'm pretty sure an Earthquake kills it every single time. But if it didn't, I'm sure Mega Venusaur could have done something to it, or Talonflame. Yeah, so I think that was just a mistake on my part in Team Preview. I should have just brought the other core. Even still, we had a decent shot in that game, I think, if I did not get confused. If I did not get confused, get that Calm Mind up, only would have taken about 60 damage, would have been able to roost up a couple times, probably, and then started going for Calm Minds, and just set up on it, and then I think I would have just crushed it. The only thing that really would have it wouldn't even do that much to me, but Heatran could have done a decent amount. I'm sure that Greninja has Dark Pulse, but if I Calm Mind enough, I don't think it would have mattered. I mean, if I was at +2 or +3 from Calm Minds, even the Dark Pulse wasn't going to hurt me that much. I still would have got walled by Heatran, but I don't know. It just would have been a very different game. But yeah, that's, sometimes that happens. It's part of Pokemon. So this next game, again, I go with the same core. Yeah, you see what he brings. I forget his exact team, but I think I went for this core because I really wanted Latios because it outsped. Mega Salamence scares the crap out of me, and just the fact that my Latios outspeeds that thing, at least at the beginning, like at least before it gets up a... So I start out with Solipede here, obviously. He starts out with that thing. He probably just did not expect the Earthquake. Not a lot of Scolipede to have Earthquake. Obviously, Earthquake's super effective against fire. And of course, I outspeed the thing, so I just killed the crap out of it. He sends in his Entei. That's right. So I go ahead and just Earthquake here. I don't think it'll kill. Entei is pretty bulky, especially on the physical side. He's got a lot of... He has a super high HP stat, and this is not a stab move, so I know I'm dead here, but I'm pretty happy with how my Scolipede did. I mean, he did, over 1.5 damage with the work. Or 1.5 Pokemon worth of work. I sent him my Heatran knowing it could wall. Honestly, I think I maybe should have gone for my, my Latios and just set up on it. But I don't know. I think it would have been better, actually. But whatever. I go for the Earth Power, knocking it out pretty handily. And obviously he did a good amount with Bulldoze there. But I knew that was the only ground move he learned, and that was really the only way he was going to be able to touch me. And Bulldoze is only like 60 base power. It's not a super high base power move, so I knew it wasn't going to do that much. Plus, it's not stab. He gets the Intimidator off. Doesn't really matter. Now here, I could either switch out into Latios or just stay in with Heatran. I just stay in with Heatran and go for the Toxic, because if he sets up, I don't really want to switch out and him set up like a Dragon Dance and me just not do anything. And if he goes for Earthquake, whatever, that means he didn't set up. Now here I think I was like, oh crap, I'm still dead. That thing outspeeds me now. So now that it's Mega Evolved, it does outspeed my Latios, probably. And so I'm like, well, okay, I'm just going to go for Dragon Pulse, because I'm pretty sure Dragon Pulse kills it just about every time. I don't see too many scenarios where it does not. And I outspeed it. I was really surprised here. I was like, this must be one of those bulky sets I've heard about. But I kill it anyway, so I'm like, must not be that bulky. I don't know how I outsped that thing, to be honest with you. Even if he was like minimum speed, well, I mean, if he had no speed investment, I would have killed it, or I would have outsped it. But I do not know how I do not know how I outsped that thing. I just have no idea. Yeah, I still, even now I'm thinking about it, and I don't know how I outsped it. He must have just, I mean, I have max speed, but still, like, he has 10 more, so he should be faster than me, unless, again, maybe he's a mixed attacker. That's the only thing I can think of is he was like a mixed set, and so he had like maxed attack, and then maybe close to max speed, maybe like 220 speed investment or something to outspeed certain threats. Like maybe he's just trying to outspeed a certain speed tier, like maybe like base 100s or something. Oh, you know what it is? I just realized most Salamances are actually adamant, so I would outspeed it. Interesting, just very interesting. And then in retrospect, I thought about it too, and I was like, well, he might not have even killed me anyways, because he probably just had double edge to hit me. Most Salamances, the most common Salamence that I think is return or double edge, which does damage to himself. Earthquake, Roost, and Dragon Dance. And so I don't think he had a super effective move against me. Obviously, Aerialite double edge would have done a lot, but it would have also hurt himself. And since I'm faster, because he's adamant, I'm assuming actually that's what happened, is he's just adamant, and I am timid, so I should outspeed. Yeah, I don't know, it's just kind of interesting there, because it took me a while. I just actually figured out why I'm faster, because most are adamant. It's interesting. That's interesting. I think actually maybe if he would have just set up a Dragon Dance there, I think he actually just sweeps my whole team. instead of going for the Earthquake. I know I would have got off a Toxic, but I don't think it would have mattered. I think if he would have just gone Dragon Dance, then Earthquake, then I think he would have just killed me. I think he would have just killed my Latios easily, and he definitely would have outsped with the Dragon Dance up. Like, I don't even think, even if he was like 0 IVs, 0 EVs, just no speed investment, minus speed, I'm pretty sure he would have outsped me there with the Dragon Dance up. Okay, this is the last match I have to show you guys. Now, this team was actually funny. So you'll notice I'm not actually bringing one of my quote-unquote cores. I am bringing the Scolipede in place of where I usually have Talonflame. And that is because, I don't know if you picked up on this, every single person on this guy's team was a water type. He had the... I don't even remember, but everything on his team was a water type, and so obviously I did not want to bring the fire type against, you know, all water. And plus, I realized that Scolipede hits a couple things for super effective damage. You can see actually right here, the Cloyster, I can hit it super effective with a fighting move, and the Tentacruel I would be able to hit with a Earthquake. So I was pretty confident there, and I bring Rotom, of course, as well as Mega Venusaur. Mega Venusaur obviously pretty darn great against an all water core. So, at this point, let's see, of all the games we've played, we won. So we were we're 3-3 here, 4-3 here, 4-4 here, and now we're 5-4. And now we're going into our last game here. Again, so I think I said everything I need to here on Team Preview. Again, I didn't know he was going to bring this exact 3. I actually was pretty sure he was going to bring the Tentacruel, because it's the only thing that Venusaur like didn't just completely own on his team. Oh, actually, he could have brought the Gyarados, and that would have done fine. Though he still would have taken neutral Sludge Bomb damage, whereas this guy actually resists it. So, actually, a pretty cool set he brings. You'll see. White issuing a challenge. Hopefully it's a mistake. So I'm like, well, you know, I don't know who I'm going to start with, but whatever. Venusaur just owns his whole team. So cool. He starts with the Tentacruel, probably expecting me to start with the Venusaur. And so I Mega Evolve, and I'm like, well, let's see. Hidden Power Fire doesn't do a lot. Sludge Bomb doesn't do a lot. Let's go ahead and go for that, whatever that thing's called, Giga Drain. So I go for the Giga Drain, breaking his substitute. I'm like, okay. And he has the Liquid Ooze. Really smart, because now I don't even get to heal back up, and I'm like, okay, this might be a race I'm just going to lose. But he goes for the Sludge Wave here, and I'm like, okay, that's probably not going to do a whole lot. Does a decent amount. I go for the Giga Drain again, knowing it's the only thing I have that can even really hurt this guy. Again, I keep taking damage from it, though. So here I think I just go for Synthesis. This is a decent little battle we have back and forth here. I don't know. I think I'm supposed to win this in the long run, but it was still kind of an annoying battle. And very smart of him to go with a substitute, knowing I was going to go for Synthesis. But I do get to heal back up for full. Obviously, I'm winning this battle simply because I have Synthesis. Definitely without Synthesis, I would not be winning. If I would have, like, let's say I had Leech Seed on this set, I'd be getting owned right now, because this Tentacruel would just be slowly draining anything I brought in. I go for the Giga Drain again just to break this sub. I think I would have gone for Sludge Bomb had I not broken this sub. I'm getting pretty annoyed at this point, though. Just because, my god, this is the worst thing ever. Stupid freaking Liquid Ooze. And he's getting healed back up because of Black Sludge. He goes for the Sludge Wave again. I think here I either go for Liquid or I go for Sludge Bomb. Yeah, I go for Sludge Bomb. I'm tired of hurting myself. So I go for Sludge Bomb, knowing, even though I know it's not going to do a lot, it still does something and it doesn't hurt me. And so here my plan is like, well, I'm just going to Sludge Bomb and then Synthesis. And then Sludge Bomb and then Synthesis. And I don't think he would ever be able to kill me if I do that. So I do get the Synthesis off. Because he's doing like, what, 40-something a pop or 50-something a pop. And now I'm feeling pretty good. I think I go for I switch out right here into Scolipede, knowing Scolipede's just going to take a Sludge Wave on the chin, and I was pretty sure that's what he was going to. I don't even know if he had enough to... He might have had enough to substitute. I don't know, but I know if I go into Scolipede here, I can just Earthquake, and I'll eat this up. Obviously, I resist it, and I can't even get poisoned by it because, again, I'm poisoned as well. And so I go for the Earthquake again, just knowing that it's going to hit it for super effective damage. He switches out. Into his cloister. I go for the earthquake. Does neutral damage, not stab though, so I don't expect it to do that much, especially how much defense this thing has. I know this thing has like 180 base D, which is just absurd. But I do have something that can hit ice for super effective, and that is superpower. And I'm like, please knock out, please knock out, please knock out. Please. Got him! Alright. And then obviously my attack falls, as well as my defense, and I'm like, well, poo. But I do get the KO there. Good job, Scolipede. Man, Scolipede is just impressing the heck out of me, guys. He always does so much more than I think he's supposed to. But I'm still thinking about getting rid of him, actually. I'm thinking about replacing him for an Ozzy-Mineral. Anyway, so he goes into this, and I'm like, well, okay. I'm just going to go back into my Venusaur, probably switch out into the... Now here, I really should have just gone for the frickin' Sludge Wave. Because, I mean, we both know what's going to happen. He's going to switch into... Sorry about my dog. Hold on. Obviously, he goes back into this thing, and I go for the Giga Drain. It does do a lot of damage, though, which makes me pretty happy. So I'm like, okay. I am just going to... what's it called here? I am just... Hey, come here. So I'm just going to heal up here, knowing that he'll be able to kill me in about 2 hits. But with Synthesis, again, I'm just going to be able to outlast this guy. This game is not looking too great for him, simply, again, because of the Venusaur. It's got to be the worst Mega to run into if you're playing a freaking all-water team. I go for the Sludge Bomb here, knowing it's not going to quite knock it out, but it's going to do a hefty amount. And again, I know here I can just go Sludge Bomb into, I can just keep going Sludge Bomb into Synthesis, Sludge Bomb, Synthesis, and he's just not going to ever be able to kill me, and I will kill him. He switches out into this thing, which is just fine with me. I don't really know. I mean, obviously he can't do anything here. And then he forfeits. So, I mean, we both knew that game was over. There was nothing he could do. But yeah, that's it. Obviously, we had a really good run. I know earlier we had a really, really poor run. We were 1-3. But this run, we picked it back up, and we're able to go 4-1. Really cool there. So that puts our total actually up to, from the first match plus the other day when we went 1-3, and then plus these 4, we are up to 6-4. So we're doing pretty well. I'll find out what my rating is and try to get that up. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Quick shout out to Austin, because I know he's been watching these. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. Yeah, thanks again, guys. If you have any suggestions or anything you want to see, please let me know. I might try to get a draft league going and maybe try to record some videos of me playing in that, but I don't know. Anyways, thanks again, guys. Have a good one.